Yeah, this is Mary. I am new.
Hi, welcome. So Chris and I have been doing healing and teaching work for, it's almost 20 years, Chris. Time flies, doesn't feel like it. And we have authored books. Chris has written Simple Truth About God, which is what we talk about when we start our meetings. She always brings up another subject from the book. I've written Healing Through Love, which teaches us that nobody can heal us, we can only heal ourselves. And when we love ourselves fully, we come to the ability to allow our bodies to then heal. So we are honored, and every other week, we present a new subject. And Chris, you're welcome to begin.
Okay, I am going to mute everybody for the background noise, and then Mary, you can unmute yourself.
Right.
So, and we will unmute everybody at the question and answer time, which will start in about 15 minutes. And then we'll do about 15 minutes of question and answers. And then Marilyn will lead a guided meditation to close out our time today. So I will mute everybody. Okay. Once again, welcome everybody, and we, from the deepest part of our heart, thank you for choosing to take your time to spend it with us and with one another. Realize that it is not an accident that each of you choose to come together to hear this message and then to become messengers yourselves. As you heal your heart, those around you are healed as well. And that's fundamentally what we're going to start to talk about today. The most core part of our teaching is that self-love is the greatest force of healing and creation on earth. It is the power that each of us have in each moment to make choices about how we will love all that we are. And as we do that, we create our world and our experience in this lifetime. Today, I want to help everyone understand what the word self really means as a manifestation of who we are. Because you will hear Marilyn and I sometimes talk about self as all, because that way of verbalizing the word self encompasses its truth. And its truth is that there is no other. You know, on earth, when we incarnate into our physical bodies, we actually fairly quickly learn and separate from the truth that we are not defined by the physical. We actually, when we incarnate, it's much more difficult for us as souls to understand that the energy that we are is not defined by the end of our fingertips or the end of our toes. It is infinite. It is unlimited. So the word self on earth gets very confused because we think of it as self and other, as if all of you are other to me, or all of you are other to one another. But in its truth, there is no other. Each of you, as God, as all that you are, manifest yourself, the energy that you are, in every moment of experience you have, as this incredible, glorious conversation and way to learn. You manifest what you perceive as other. And what happens is you have a choice. If you understand this truth that you are not separate from whether it's your husband or the grocery clerk or someone at work or the president or the prime minister or whoever, that you are not separate, but rather that moment of awareness that you have of the other. And it could be a moment of awareness of listening to someone across a television or a computer, or it could be, like I said, an encounter in the store, or a friend calling or sending an email. It doesn't matter. Every moment of communication is your heart, your glorious, incredible, powerful heart communicating with you one thing, which is it asks you without any judgment, it asks you, is this how you want to love yourself? And that's why we have an opportunity when we think of living our lives to understand that the term self-love is love for self as all. It is how you will choose to relate to yourself, okay? But self as all. Self in my physical body, but self as my husband, self as my friend, self as my family, self as anything that I encounter in my world. And I will share with you that on earth, because this is so misunderstood, it is at the very root of our separation from this glorious experience of who we are. And I would say that if you watch how we most commonly live on earth when we see ourselves as self and other, we do things like we blame other people for the reason why our life is the way it is. We have someone who's saying something difficult to us and we put our hands up. Oh, that person's having a bad day. I want nothing to do with them. We sit at meal times and people will watch TV or listen to screen time or, put a newspaper up between themselves and their family. And essentially what they're doing, the heart is trying so hard, the soul is trying so hard to communicate with them about how they're loving and to help them understand how to have an experience of unconditional love for self. And these walls go up. And so what happens when people put up barriers or walls or say, you're not me, I want nothing to do with you, you're a terrible person, whatever. The heart, because it is so powerful and it is so knowing of love and so knowing of the glorious experience of unconditional love, it will escalate its attempts to reach you. And the way that it escalates is it follows the path of what you do pay attention to. So when you do not pay attention to everyone around you as your heart, it will escalate to the things you do pay attention. And on earth, we pay a lot of attention to pain. We'll tell more people about our pain than we ever will about our joy. We pay attention to illness. We will tell more people about how horrible it is that so-and-so has a disease than we will to tell somebody so-and-so had such a great day today, right? So the heart will escalate. So the power of understanding that there is no other is that you can de-escalate your experience on earth to one of more gentle waves rather than tsunamis of pain, trauma, accidents, illness, everything. And it is this simple, simple, beautiful understanding that there is no other, that there is this incredible opportunity in every moment for you to listen to what the other is saying, acknowledge it to yourself, even if you don't understand it in that moment. Okay, I hear you. I hear you're trying to reach me. I want to understand this. And then let yourself be peaceful. Don't get agitated. The heart will then know they're listening. She's listening. He's listening. And it will bring you more and more clarity to its conversation with you. So, self-love is self as all. It is glorious. Mare?
Love listening to Chris's teachings, as you all do as well. But what I do is I bring it to our everyday lives, because it's one thing to understand it here, and it's another thing to understand it as we go through our day and cross paths with so many people by choice, because we choose every experience we have. So when I think about there is no other, what it really says to me is that, you know, you're with a coworker or an acquaintance, and they make a choice that you don't approve of. So that's a judgment. And if you accept this teaching in its fullest, what is it that you are judging of yourself while you judge other? Because there is no other. When you are afraid, what is it that you have fear of here, not only out here? Because there is no out here. Everything is within. All that exists in the one that you are, that we are. That, you know, the fact that we even speak in singular and plural is confusing, but there is just one energy of love. And we are all that energy, not a part of that energy, that energy. And it's amazing to imagine that somebody who is upsetting to you, or you don't want to be friends with, or whatever it is, that's okay. It's okay to make those choices, but you should always take a moment and say, what am I to learn from that? What am I reflecting within myself that I see here that makes me uncomfortable? It is interesting because there are those people that come into our experiences as everyone is our teacher, whether you enjoy them and love them so fully, or whether you really do not enjoy them at all and even dislike them. There is an opportunity to know that that person whom you dislike is you too. And it's very hard to fathom. It's unimaginable to imagine that I am like this person, but you're not a carbon copy. There is just simply an aspect of that person that you have within you that you don't enjoy about yourself, and you see the reflection, and it offers you the opportunity to bring it forth, to meditate on it, to think on it, to make new choices, to release it the way we've been teaching the releasing exercises, and to allow yourself the opportunity to slowly understand that everything that everyone brings forth when crossing paths with you is an opportunity to heal, to release, and to love, ultimately love without judgment. And you know, when we love ourselves, and that is an interesting thought in and of itself, loving yourself so fully that you accept everything that you are, it also means that you accept all other as equal to you. There are no levels, there are no separations. Chris and I do not know more than you know. We could sit here and we could take turns week to week and have each of you teach us something. That is how powerful you are in absolute oneness with everyone here today and everyone upon this earth. You want to unmute, Chris? And we invite you to think about this and ask questions.
Does anyone have a question? Go ahead, Aish.
I understand that all there exists is God, but then there are human beings out there who are hurting other human beings. My question is, why did God choose to experience life in a way where he or she was okay being a racist, okay being a murderer, and okay in general inflicting pain onto others?
You know, we're going through an interesting time here in the United States, as you are all aware, due to that, due to racism and hatred and the inability to find that self-love. When it's not that God created hatred, it's that we created hatred. And that's a challenging thing to think about. We, each of us sitting here together, there's something you hate. You know, I hate eating liver. I mean, it can be as simple as that. There's something that we hate. But that energy, whatever it is, it grows. And when a person doesn't love themselves, when a person doesn't love himself, herself, what takes that place? Where is that pain? That pain comes out and it becomes ugly. God did not create hate. We create it. And when it builds and builds and builds, as it has been building, the pain is unimaginable. And it happens all over the world. It happens to be happening very powerfully right now during a very challenging time with the pandemic on top of it. There's so much energy of fear and energy of pain that it is erupting. Why is there prejudice upon the world? Because people do not see that we are all one, that we are exactly the same, regardless of the color of our skin or our faith or anything like that. We've all experienced it. We all experience it. What we need to do is to allow it, acknowledge it, and then send love to it. Because as you love yourself, you love all. And hopefully that enough of us will start to do this and it will begin to dissipate. But it is, in this moment, an extraordinarily painful time. Chris?
I would add that, you know, joy is of us. Pain is created and empowered by us. And it is created and empowered by our separation from this simple truth that we are perfect and magnificent as we are. And the fundamental experience on the earth for incarnated souls through much of time has been one of separation from self as being perfect and magnificent. From the very moment of our birth, we are evaluated whether we are a perfect baby, whether we have 10 toes, fingers, etc. So the very, very first messages we have are not about perfection. They're balanced against imperfection. So the creation of lack, pain, hatred is the loss of connection with our magnificence and our acceptance of ourselves as we are in each and every moment. Are there any other questions? Go ahead, Adrian.
I'm wondering if you guys see, is there a place for anger in what we go through? Is there a in the way that you said, if people experience pain, it's your heart calling you to pay attention to something? Is anger a way to call people around you to attention to something that you think is important? Are there, I mean, I don't know that, how do you galvanize change, and is it only within you, or can you call people to galvanize with you?
I'd like to start that, Mayor, and then I think you need to address that. All change is just you. Every single being on earth is a manifestation of your heart. So as you choose to love you, as you choose to accept yourself as you are, and then as all that you are, that's the only force of change that exists. And it's so glorious when we, a couple weeks ago, shared the 10 things you love about yourself. If you are doing that every day, and you don't even tell anybody you're doing it, you will see the people around you change. They will be more friendly to you. They will be smiling because you are changing, and like ripples in a pond, it is going out and out. So that is the greatest force of healing and creation, but creation. Mare?
Adrian, I understand your question. I want to start by saying that having every emotion is part of the human experience. It is okay to be angry. It is okay to be sad. It is okay to feel frustrated. But Adrian, imagine all the riots that we're experiencing here in the United States, in our major cities. Imagine them being peaceful rather than filled with rage. Imagine the globe experiencing peaceful demonstrations when there are inequities, when people are hungry and we want to feed them, when there is injustice in any way, any manner. If we could handle it in a loving and peaceful way rather than with violence and creating pain for innocence on the outskirts of that experience. I agree with the rage. I agree with the anger, the frustration, but it's what you do with that energy and how you handle that. If you could turn it around and say, I would love to march with people who are holding placards saying, this is wrong, we have to fix this, in a peaceful way and in great numbers, expanding love and expanding the understanding that this is the way we choose to live, rather than duplicating the pain and creating an expansion of pain. It is that being angry is okay, but how you use that anger and turn it around to create a greater sense of love and peace and acceptance and everything else that we are lacking here right now would be the way to go. And I think you'd have so many more of us out there marching if we weren't afraid to do that.
Yeah, I want to reverse that around, because I think in light of what we were talking about today, that there is no other, it's the reverse. Like, what happens if someone's standing before you, angry at you, yelling at you, telling you something very difficult to hear? That's your heart. That's not easy. Those are the moments we most want to say, that person has a problem, and shut the door, go away, walk away. And what I encourage you to do is unless it is physically threatening to you. If it is ever physically threatening, you must leave the environment. Then you do your work. And we'll talk about that in a second. But if it's not physically threatening and someone is standing before you yelling at you, I want you to begin to realize that your heart is escalated. It's escalated because it's going, listen, listen, listen to me. I'm trying to get you to hear me about how you are choosing to love yourself. I so want you to hear me. So rather than separate from that angry person, let yourself acknowledge, okay, heart, okay, soul. I use the word heart for soul. Okay, heart, I hear you. I realize I'm listening. You're trying to reach me. Because once you acknowledge to your heart, to your soul, that it's trying to reach you, it's trying to communicate, it will then stop yelling. It will realize, okay, I'm being heard. I don't need to escalate. So realize, then you begin working with the specific words. What is that person saying? What were the words the person was using? And translating them into a language of, what do those words say about how I am choosing to love myself? And just let your heart know, I'm listening, I want to understand the message, and you can acknowledge to that person, if necessary, if it keeps escalating, you can acknowledge, look, I understand you're trying to share something with me. I'm going to step out of the room right now, and let's come back and talk about it when we can both communicate more peacefully. You can also do that because you're letting your heart know, I want to hear you. I want to understand, and so I'm going to leave and come back. And do return when you are ready and your heart is ready. And you will find fewer and fewer of those angry, yelling type messages to you. Well, I think we're ready for the meditation, Mara.
All right, everyone.
I'm going to mute everybody here, Mara.
Okay. I invite you to take a sip of some liquid if on the, it's a good moment. Make yourself really comfortable. I'm going to start some music. And today, the meditation will focus on helping you understand that everything is within. All right? So please make yourselves comfortable. Feel the experience. Today we will start differently. Today we will start in your home, in each of our own homes. Imagine yourself in a very comfortable space in your home, perhaps in a big chair, leaning against cushions, perhaps lying in bed, perhaps in a sunny corner. Feel it. Feel the beauty of the environment you have created. Feel the peace of your space where you feel safe and loved. And feel the golden light that comes of your heart, filling the room that you are in. Fill the room with that golden light. And allow that light to expand into all the rooms of your home, filling your home with the golden light of powerful healing, powerful peace, powerful love. Expand from the walls to the walls, from the floors to the ceiling. And for those who have multi-levels, expand up and down, beneath you and above you. and know that your house is filled with this golden healing energy. And now I invite you to expand the light into the street outside of your home. If you live in a building, expand it throughout the building, entering all the other apartments within. As you live in a home, let the streets be filled with the light of your heart, the light of peace, the light of love. And expand the light up and down the streets of your neighborhood. Every home engulfed in this glorious golden energy of love and peace that is emanating of you, for you are that love. You are that peace. You are that magnificence. And expand the light beyond the neighborhood. Imagine it filling all the streets beyond, touching the hearts of everyone it comes across, every human, every animal, filling them with this golden energy of love and peace and acceptance, and expanding it beyond even where your mind can travel. Allow your heart to guide you. Feel yourself begin to rise. Feel yourself come out of the space of great comfort and rise. And as far as the eye can see, expand the light as you rise higher and higher and higher, filled and expanded with this golden energy of love, of peace, of healing. And keep rising, and imagine you are above and can expand the light upon your entire nation. The entire country, every man, woman, and child touched by this healing energy. Feel it. See it as you continue to rise, and allow the light to expand beyond the shores, the boundaries of your home. Going into neighboring countries. Imagine yourself rising ever more and watching the light spread across the continent. And keep rising, rising in this golden energy of powerful healing. And feel yourself expanding, expanding the light of love and peace until it surrounds the entire planet Earth. Imagine every man, every woman, every child touched by this light. Imagine them breathing differently, deeply, peacefully. Imagine every animal upon the earth touched by this light. Imagine every tree, every bush, every flower, every blade of grass touched and vibrating in the golden light of your heart. Fill the oceans with this light. Every fish, every sea creature touched by this energy, filling with this energy. And expand the light, all the rivers, all the streams, the golden light flowing, the mountains and the valleys, the deserts, the rainforests, everything touched by this light, for it is of earth, it is of you. And as you float here above all that is, And part of it, as you are part of this energy, this light, this love, imagine you are so large, so expanded in self-love. I invite you to cup the earth in your hands and pull it into your heart. And as it enters your heart, you share the love that you are with all that is. Feel it in your heart, every man, woman, and child, everything of earth, a part of you as you are a part of all. And breathe 3 deep breaths. And as you exhale, you release all pain, all fear, all limitation. And as you inhale, you pull in more of the golden energy of peace, love, acceptance. And so it is that the earth is of you and you are of earth. And we are all the one that we are, that you are, that I am, equal in all moments. And I invite you now to imagine that you begin to grow a little smaller and come back slowly. The earth still exists as we know it. Allow yourself to come down closer and closer back to the earth. Look around and see the golden light shimmering upon all that is, knowing that this moment has touched all. And do this over and again, but continue to return and find yourself floating above the country that you are in, and come down even closer so that you are floating above your own neighborhood, above your own street. Everything, everywhere you look, you see nothing but the golden light of self-love, of love for all, of love of all that is. And come back slowly, slowly into your own home. Once again, walking through your home and seeing the magnificence of this energy filling your entire space, a place where you are filled with great peace, great comfort, great love. And sit once again in that space in your home, whether it is in the comfortable chair or lying on the bed or in the sunshine by a window. Know that you are always here in a space that brings you the greatest peace, great joy, and the most powerful self-love. And I invite you again to take 3 deep breaths. And on the final exhale, open your eyes and look for the light, for it is there. Welcome back. I really, truly thank you all for spending this time with us. It is so healing for our hearts. Just sharing and being one with you. I wish you each a glorious evening, glorious day, wherever you are. Thank you.
Thank you.